chill and hold on, and gave his attention to his kid. And I thought that was freaking awesome. I was like, this dude, you know, when on the vision board of the whiteboard of what we're doing here, it was to help parents get their kids back. I just saw that in Norb. I was like, that dude's got a good heart. Me and him might do something someday. So I thought that was cool. Anyway, that's my story for when I first met Norb and was like, huh, cool. Then we had a beer in Austin and started talking. There you go. You probably don't remember that. That was out in the lobby at it.
Yeah, I remember you sharing that story a couple of times. I don't remember the exact moment either. Yeah, but it's funny how these little interactions can stay with people, right? Yeah, it's awesome. So powerful. Mm-hmm. That's actually what we're going to be talking about here when we're talking about influence. It is the little things. And so, Brian, I'm going to jump right into it. I'll share my screen here. I've got a little bit of a presentation that I put together for you guys. We're going to be talking about the 3 steps to creating instant authority in your business. And this is honestly going to work for any business, any entrepreneur, regardless what niche you're in, regardless of what you're selling, what you're promoting, whether it is network marketing, whether it's coaching or digital courses or affiliate marketing. Authority is one of these key things that are really, really important in your business. Just remember, people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so the authority part is that trust part of this equation. So really quickly, let's just define what authority marketing is. I think this is really important to understand. And this is part of your marketing strategy. And it's simply a process to establish your position of leadership in your category of business. It's based on your wisdom, your knowledge, your insights. It's sharing what you have so others look to you and your company as the definitive answer to their problem. In other words, it's sharing your expert and credible opinions that will move your audience to take action. Now, there's going to be a lot of limiting beliefs that might come up in your way and say, oh, well, I'm not an expert. I'm not an authority. I don't know how I could ever be an authority. Notice that last sentence in this definition. In other words, it is sharing your expert and credible opinions. In the end, it is just you sharing your opinions. In the end, yes, some people might have more credibility than you. They might have more experience than you. They might have, more diplomas on the wall or anything like that. But the experience that you're bringing to the table in whatever niche you're in, we're going to build onto that experience. We're always getting better and better, as we all know. But we've got to own what we already know. We've already got to, come from the place that we're starting with right now. And we can share those opinions, those insights, those experiences that we already have. And with that, we can build authority starting today, regardless of where you're at in your business and how much success you have, okay? Authority marketing helps entrepreneurs leverage their knowledge to gain authority status in their industry. So knowledge is a key component here. This authority status, I'm bringing it up here. This authority status then allows them to dramatically amplify the message and convert the new audience into higher paying customers. It's the use of content marketing. So content obviously is a big key to this, to position yourself as an expert, authority, or even a celebrity in your marketplace. Okay, now don't get too intimidated by any of this. If you're feeling a little bit of hesitation, I'm going to show you and share with you how you can start with where you're at right now. Okay, you don't have to be a 6-figure earner. You don't have to be a massive success. You don't have to have any diplomas on the wall. Very, very important book. If you haven't read this book, go check it out. The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini. And in this book, he outlines 6 important pillars of influence and persuasion. And those pillars are reciprocity, consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. Okay, now we try to use all of these pillars of influence and persuasion in our marketing, right? You'll see us using this on our sales pages, in our webinars, in our copywriting, right? Reciprocity. People feel the need to return gifts and favors. Lead magnet is a great example of that. Consistency. People feel pressure to conform to their past commitments and behaviors. That's like the micro commitments can be a form of consistency. Social proof. People do what others do. Liking. People are influenced by those that they like. So they've got to, if you don't like a person, you're probably most likely not going to buy from them. And then authority, indicators of expertise that lead to influence. So we're going to be talking about those indicators of expertise. What are those indicators of expertise, or at least what are some of those indicators of expertise that we can start on? You might not have all of them, right? A diploma or a degree, that type of credibility is an indicator of expertise, but it doesn't mean that you have to have one. And then finally, scarcity. People are wired to want what is scarce. That's why we've got, timers and limited offers and things like that. I love this quote by Frank Kern. Positioning. I apologize. I've got a dry throat. Kind of like come back to me. I dealt with the Omicron thing a couple of weeks ago, and like today, it's kind of like come back in my throat or something. So I'm gonna be drinking my water, trying not to speak too loud here, and get through this together. Frank Kern, positioning. Most importantly, positioning yourself as an authority is the single most important thing you can do to increase your perceived value to the marketplace. Frank Kern knows a few things about marketing. He's been around the industry, online marketing industry, consulting with entrepreneurs, responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars online. So he knows a thing or two, and he's saying that positioning yourself as an authority is the single most important thing you can do to increase your perceived value. Pay attention to these words that are being used, because we're going to be talking about all of them. So in these 3 steps that I'm going to be sharing with you here today, the first step is positioning. Okay. And that's why, because it's the most important thing. So what is positioning? What is this all about? Here's the importance of positioning. In order to increase sales and profits, every single one of you, right? Put an X in the chat, raise your hand, whatever you need to do here. Do you want to increase sales and profits? Yes, you do. Every single one of us, everybody in business wants to increase their sales and their profits. How do we do that? There's 2 components of this. Number 1, positioning. Number 2, process. So process is the process that you have in place, the systems that you've created, the marketing strategies, the sales funnels, the websites, the offers. That's all process, okay? And process is critical to creating sales and profits. But process without positioning is going to be weak. It's not going to get you the results that you need. So you might have the best funnel, you might have the best process, you might have paid all this money to set up automations and tripwires and all this kind of great stuff. But if your positioning is lacking, if your positioning is weak, you're going to struggle to increase sales and profits. So in this webinar right now, what we're going to be, we're not focusing on process here. We're going to be focusing on positioning. Another quote from another famous marketer, Dan Kennedy: the simple truth is, if you aren't deliberately, systematically, methodically, or rapidly and dramatically establishing yourself as a celebrity. Now, interesting that he decided to choose the word celebrity, because we're going to talk about a few different terms. So just remember that he used the word celebrity. Frank Kern talked about authority and expertise. Establishing yourself as a celebrity, at least to your clientele and target market. Okay, when me and Brian hold a Live the Dream event, okay, we've got people coming up to us wanting to snap photos with us and all that kind of stuff. It's like we're like little celebrities at Live the Dream, right? It's really funny. When we go out on the street, nobody knows who the hell we are, okay? So it's not like we need to become a celebrity, but can you position yourself eventually to perhaps become a celebrity, at least to your clientele, at least to your target market? Lots of people have accomplished that. A lot of people have done that. If you're not doing this, you're asleep at the wheel, he says, ignoring what is fueling the entire economy around you. I mean, when we were teaching this stuff a decade ago, this was still brand new. Now, all you have to do is flip on Instagram and TikTok, and everybody is aware of influencers, right? Influencers building celebrity on these social media platforms. This is a common thing that kids in their bedrooms are doing now. They're becoming celebrities. They're building massive TikTok followings. This is the stuff we were teaching. Dan Kennedy was teaching. Frank Kern was teaching 10 to 15 years ago, when the internet was just getting started, when YouTube just first, started, when Facebook just started. Look where we're at now, right? This is now a normal thing where kids are getting involved in this. So let's talk about positioning, all right? And this is what we're going to call here this positioning pyramid, all right? We're going to start at the very bottom. And our goal, if we're looking to create authority in our business, we're looking to improve our positioning in our business, is to try to attempt to move up this pyramid, okay? You don't have to get to the very top of the pyramid. But the most important thing is we've got to at least, and every single one of us on this webinar, even if you're a brand new beginner, you want to sit on your sites to at least move from the first level to the second level. So the first level is the generalist. This is where everybody starts out. And this is where most online entrepreneurs, business owners, network marketers, coaches, and everybody else, most likely, most people start out here. And they come into the scene and they're a generalist. You know you're a generalist when you say things like, I want to help everybody. I just want to help people. I've got a big heart. I've got this amazing problem, and I want to just help everyone that I can. Okay, if you've heard yourself say that, or if you've heard other people say that, you are a generalist, right? Because you haven't found your specialty. And this is the first step that every single one of us can make right now to separate yourself in your marketplace, to start to move up this positioning pyramid. And you'll notice with every step that you take up this pyramid, you're going to increase your profits. See those little dollar signs on the right-hand side. Okay. Now, if you don't believe me, just look into the real world. I always like using the example in the medical profession, right? In the medical profession, who are your generalists? Your general doctors, right? Your family practitioner, your family doctor, right? Maybe your emergency doctor. I don't know the medical profession that well, so I'm kind of, don't really know what I'm talking about here. But we all know, like, a family doctor is kind of like a generalist. Your general doctor, your general nurse, okay? And then what do you have? Then you have specialists, right? You've got like your anesthesiologists, and you've got your brain surgeons, and you've got all these different specialists. Do specialists earn more money than generalists? Do specialists earn more money than generalists? Put it in the chat. We all know this to be true, of course. Specialists always, always, always earn more money than generalists. Why is that? Think about that. Participate here, guys. Throw into the chat. Why do specialists earn more than generalists? I got to open the chat here. For some reason, my cursor deletes. More knowledge. Yes. More education. Okay. Can we get beyond that? More skills. Yes. Because they have specialized training, there's less of them. Right? Basic supply and demand. There's less specialists than there are generalists. Okay. They're paid for their specialty. They specialize in one area. They focus on a specified field. So if you focus in one area, it's assumed that you know more about that one area, right? Because they're taking more interest in that area. They take more time to learn, right? They're sought out because they're a specialist. If I have a problem, a specific problem that I need medical attention for, right? I would prefer to see a specialist than a generalist because I know I'm going to get better care. Okay, so they're bringing more value to the marketplace. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the others, and I kind of gave it away here. The others on the pyramid. So we've got the generalist. Next move, specialist. So this is where each one of us can work starting today, starting right after this webinar. We can start to decide what's going to be our specialty. Because once we've decided that, then guess what? Then we can focus on developing our skill, our knowledge, and our presence in that specialty in order to become an expert. And when we become an expert in that area of specialty, we give ourselves the opportunity to earn more money. Oops, beyond that, oh, sorry guys, I pressed the wrong arrow button. Generalist, specialist, expert, then we've got the authority, and then finally the celebrity. And even in our space, like if you think about the network marketing industry as an example, can you name a couple of celebrities in our space? Okay. And do the celebrities earn more than the specialists and the experts and the generalists? Yeah, absolutely they do. And now every single one of us has the capability, has the capacity to move up this pyramid, in this positioning pyramid. But right now, the only thing that I'm encouraging you to focus on is to at least move from generalist to specialist. So this starts with your market message, with your promise. And we're going to talk a little bit about your market promise in just a few minutes here. But who are you focusing on serving? Okay, who are you going to focus on serving, and how are you going to serve them? We'll talk a little bit more on that when we talk about your promise. Okay, so we're going to move, that's just This positioning element is just setting up this next step. So that's step number one, is your positioning. Okay, how are you going to position yourself in the marketplace? And what can you do to move from generalist to specialist? In the affiliate marketing space, you may hear people talk about finding your niche. That's what we're talking about here, finding your niche, right? So if you're, as an example, if you're in weight loss, okay? If you're in weight loss, yes, you can try to help everybody that needs to lose weight, but then you're being a generalist. How could you specialize in the weight loss niche? How could you specialize? Give me some answers in the Q&A, guys. Let me see you guys putting your minds to work here. How can you specialize in the weight loss? There we go. Gut health, beautiful. Women over 50, beautiful. Postpartum moms, beautiful. Brand new moms, exactly. Specialist for diabetics, beautiful. Children, women with baby weight. Daggy dads. I don't know what a daggy dad is, but I'm going to guess it's a dad with a dad bod, right? Need to lose those extra. Fitness aware. Yes, absolutely. Prime timers, baby boomers. Now you guys are getting it. Okay. Now you guys are getting it. Okay. So once you find this specialty, again, if a baby boomer, or let's say a mom who's wanting to lose postpartum weight, right? If she finds some messaging on the internet about losing weight, okay, that's interesting. But if she finds messaging about losing weight for postpartum moms, is she going to have a little bit more interest in that? Yes, of course, because that's specific to her problems and her challenges, okay? So this is how we separate our marketing message, how we make our marketing message unique. We separate ourselves from the competition, we stand out from the competition, and we attract our ideal client. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. All right, let's move on to the second step. So the first step is positioning. The second step is going to be your belief. Now there's two parts to this. I had to put both parts in here. Belief in self is going to be number one. And then also belief in your promise, belief in your brand promise. So let's tackle each one of these because these are very, very important. These are going to be critical. So number one, let's start with belief in yourself. I love this quote by Jim Rohn. I use it all the time. You probably see this in every training that I do. I have to use this quote. This is like the foundation of MLSP. It's the foundation of the way that we've run our businesses now for 14 years. Jim Rohn said that we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. So if you want to make money in the marketplace, all you have to do is think about what value am I going to bring to the marketplace? And then you can also ask the question, who is my marketplace? Who specifically is my marketplace? We'll talk about that when we talk about brand promise. So your personal value, the value that you're bringing to the marketplace, I call it your self-wealth, right? The wealth that you inherently have inside of you. Your personal value is based on your knowledge, the knowledge that you've developed, which is unique to you, whether it's through education, degrees, schooling, mentorship, or personal knowledge that you've acquired, your skills that you've developed, your life experiences, and the natural talent, strengths, personality, and abilities that you naturally bring to the table. Okay? Your natural talent. That means you already have that. There's nothing to grow and develop there. Those you already have intrinsically. Each one of us are bringing that to the marketplace. Okay, so this is your personal value that we bring to the marketplace. Here's how we make money with that, and this is the key. Your potential to create wealth, to create income, is then based on how you translate your personal value, your self-wealth, into products or services that solve people's problems and help them attain their goals and dreams. This is how we bring value into the marketplace, exactly what Jim Rohn said. So your potential, read this again and really think about what this means. Your potential to create wealth, to create income in your life, is based on how you translate your personal value into products or services that solve people's problems and help them attain their goals and their dreams. That's what business is all about. That's what the economy is all about. That's what it should be all about. right? So if we understand that, we can now start to think about, okay, what value am I bringing to the marketplace? How can I become more valuable to the marketplace? How can I bring more value to my particular market? These are a couple of great questions to sit down with at night with a notebook and really start to think about. How can I become more valuable, and how can I bring more value to the marketplace? How can I bring more of myself into the market for my clients? Well, let's talk about that. How can we do that? Well, number one, you've got to own it. Number one, you've got to fully own the value that you already bring to the market. Remember that I told you that your ability to create income is your ability to translate your personal value into marketing, into products and services. Unfortunately, the majority of us, for some reason, we have been taught to play small. There's a lot of us that have a very difficult time selling ourselves. Okay, X in the chat if you agree with that. You have a difficult time talking about yourself. You have a difficult time selling yourself, right? People tell you don't be too, don't brag too much. Don't be overly, don't be too high on yourself, all that kind of stuff, right? We don't want to sound like we have too much of an ego. And so many of us play small. The problem with that is in the marketplace, when you're playing small, your clients and your potential customers, they need to have confidence in who they're doing business with. So they need to know that you have confidence in what you offer and what you sell. And so in order for you to have that confidence and for you to demonstrate that confidence, you have to fully own the value that you already bring to the market. I love this quote by Sally Hogg said, throughout your career, you will compete against people who are more established, more famous, more connected, and more specialized, but they can't be you. They can't capture your highest distinct value. Only you have you. And so our challenge is to really identify for ourselves how we are unique in the marketplace. What is the unique value that we bring? And so I really encourage you to do the work on yourself to own all of the strengths, talents, gifts, and abilities that you already possess naturally, inherently to you. That you fully own the experiences that you've lived, that you've experienced, the skills that you possess, right? Instead of comparing yourself to others and how you lack the things that others have, I need you to own the things that you already do have. You've got time and you've got years to get better and better. You can continue to get better and better, and you will continue to get better and better. But you need to start where you're at right now, and you need to fully own the value that you bring to the marketplace. Start with what you do well, and you will already be halfway to mastery. Roger James Hamilton, the creator of the Wealth Dynamics personality test. And that's something that I recommend you guys do. If you haven't done this type of personal work on yourself, if you're still struggling to fully own your value, is I do recommend that you do some personality tests out there, because those personality tests in black and white writing, once you've completed them, will share with you your strengths and your weaknesses, your skills, talents, and abilities. And as you read through those personality profiles, you're going to be able to highlight those strengths and say, yeah, I am good at that. Damn, I am a good listener. Yes, I am very organized. And this is what I'm talking about. These are all the assets that you already possess that you've got to bring to the table. And I really encourage you to do that. Because remember that positioning in the marketplace is all about perception. We get to engineer what others perceive of us when we promote ourselves online, right? When we put ourselves out on social media, the content that we create, the websites that we put out, the videos that we create, we get to engineer, if we're smart about it, we get to engineer the perception that others have of us. It doesn't mean everyone's going to like you. You're still going to have your haters. But what it does mean is that you do have the ability to engineer people's perception. Okay? When I put out my first video online back in 2008, and I created a little sales funnel, and I had no results in my business, but I simply put a video, and it wasn't a very good video either, a video on my website, and I started to generate leads through that website. I got people contacting me when I got on the phone with them. I remember this like it was yesterday. One of the first conversations I had once I built that funnel and I started generating leads, I picked up the phone, I called the person back, and the guy said, "Oh, hi, is this?" And I said, "Hey, it's Norbert Orlowitz. I'm calling you back. You were on my website." And he was like, oh my God, is this Norbert? And I'm like, yeah, just calling you back. Just wanted to follow up. He's like the Norbert that I watched on the video? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just calling you back. I wanted to answer any questions. He was literally like, he was so impressed just because I had a little video on a website. Now, obviously, that's not that impressive anymore because it's 2021 and everybody and their kids are making videos on TikTok now. So that's not as impressive anymore. But it just goes to show you how positioning is all about perception. You just need to do a few little things correctly, and you can position yourself as an expert, as an authority, as a credible individual who people want to do business with. The next thing to understand is that your belief is all about perception as well. Okay, so we can sit here and we look at all the ways that we lack things in our life and lack things in our abilities. I'm not as good as that person. I'm not as smart. I'm not as pretty. I'm not as this. I'm not as that. That's our perception. We can choose to live our life that way. Or we can simply switch our perception and look at all the things that we do have. Wow, I am such a great listener. Wow, you know what? I am a pretty good communicator sometimes. You know, I really do a good job when I do this and this. Okay. And that's all about perception. And so our belief is all about perception, having our belief in ourselves, having the confidence in ourselves. So that's number one. We've got to own it. In order to become more valuable, we got to fully own the value that you already bring to the market. Number two, we're going to become more valuable. Now we're going to increase our knowledge. Training, books, courses, events, webinars like this, memberships like MLSP, attending level 1 workshops, going through the summit that we're going to have all these experts on in a few days, giving you training. Just by attending and increasing your training and your knowledge, you're going to become more valuable. You're going to become more knowledgeable. You're going to become more specialized. You're going to become more of an expert. That's why we always say hashtag getting better and better, because that's what we're doing every single day. We're committed to getting better and better. Along with our knowledge, we're developing our skill sets, right? So again, through training, through courses, through webinars, through practice, through actually doing the things that we're learning how to do, we develop our key skills. Because yeah, there are some key skills that we need to develop. And as we do that, we grow our experience and we gain confidence. The longer we can stay in this game, the more confidence that we have. When I did my first webinar back in 2008, I did not have as much confidence as I do today. Today, 2022, after hundreds of these webinars, I don't have to take much time to prepare. I can literally hit the record button and start talking with you guys. Why? Experience. And you're not going to do that unless you're in the game. And so attending webinars is great. Going through digital courses is great. But are you practicing these skills? Are you improving these skills on a daily basis? Because that's how you're really going to build your confidence. Developing your skills is non-negotiable. And that's what MLSP is all about. That's what our whole business model is about. It's about skill development. If you understand our framework, you've seen our framework before. This is part of our framework. We call it the 4 phases of growth. And this is really the 4 phases of skill development here at MLSP. The first phase is social media networking and prospecting, then personal branding and content marketing. And as you move through these phases, you're developing new skill sets, right? In this slide here, I've just listed out some of the skills that we develop at these different phases of growth as you move through the MLSP journey. You can see some of these skills that I've written down here. Some of these skills, a lot of you have mastered. Some of these skills, a lot of you are just learning. And you can see that this is going to take some commitment. It's going to take some time. If you go to college or university, you don't just go for a few weeks. You don't just go for 90 days and all of a sudden think you can get a job. How long is university or college degrees? 3 years, 4 years, PhD, doctorates, 6 years, 8 years, more? Okay. So if you want to commit and be a successful marketer, be a successful entrepreneur, have a successful business, you're going to have to commit to your skill development. There is no magic bullet here. There is no magic system. There is no, push button, cash flow type of system that's just going to solve all your lack of skills. You're going to need to develop your skills. And that's what MLSP is all focused about. Okay. So this right here is how we can become more valuable. And as we become more valuable, we can increase our belief in ourselves. Now, the second part of belief is belief in your brand promise. What is your brand promise? And why does your brand promise matter? It matters because every single person that comes to your website or looks at one of your videos on social media is has this question in their mind. Why should I do business with you? Because every single prospect, the only thing they care about is themselves. They really don't care about you. They don't care about your history. They don't care about your life story. They don't even care about your credibility. Honestly, they don't. They care about, are you going to solve my problem? Why should I do business with you? And you've got to be able to answer this question with confidence. And you've got to be able to answer this question clearly. So your brand promise needs to demonstrate, number one, who are you? What do you stand for? Who do you serve? Is this going to serve me? How are you going to serve them? And what problems do you solve? Okay, so when we talk about branding, this is what branding really is. Some people think branding is like logo design and what colors am I putting in my logo and how pretty does my website look? All of that stuff is just surface. That's all on the surface stuff. And all of that stuff is important. Yes, if you're developing a big brand, it's important. But none of that matters if you haven't answered these questions for yourself, if you don't have crystal clarity on the answers for these questions. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're not crystal clear on these questions, your prospect has no idea what you stand for. Your prospect has no idea how you're going to serve them if you can't answer these questions. So write these questions down and make sure that you've got crystal clear answers to each one of these questions. Who are you? What do you stand for? Who do you serve? How will you serve them? And what problems do you solve? And this right here is how we can begin to niche down and identify our brand promise, okay? So our brand promise, we can actually structure our brand promise into a sentence so that it's very clear for us and for the people that we talk to as well. And every single one of us should have this. Hang it up in front of your computer so you don't forget it. It's really important that you're crystal clear on your brand promise and that you're working every single day to fulfill on this brand promise, because this is the promise that you're making to your prospects and your potential customers and clients. So this is how we're going to craft this brand promise. So write this down. I help my target market, my ideal client. I help my ideal client solve this problem. So number one, you've got to identify your ideal client. Okay, who do you want to specialize in helping? And eventually you can help more people. I do this training in the level 1 workshop. I can't remember if I threw a slide in here on this, where we talk about identifying your ideal client and understand that you can help different types of clients, but the more clients you try to help, the harder it makes your marketing. Okay, the harder it is to come up with a good promise and a good marketing message. So if you're trying to help everyone, if you're trying to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one, which is why it's really important to identify exactly who I want to help. So identify your ideal client, and then you can finish this sentence. I help my target market solve this problem. Okay, and you can brainstorm a bunch of key problems, a bunch of the big problems that you help your clients with your product or your service or whatever it is that you offer. Okay. Second part, so that they can have this goal, or so that they can accomplish this dream, or so that they can accomplish this, whatever it is that they want. Okay, so that they can have this goal. Write down what this goal would be. Start with brainstorming. Brainstorm all the goals, accomplishments, and dreams that you help your ideal client accomplish and achieve. And then you're going to identify the most important one. Okay. Third, without these challenges, what are the challenges that your ideal client has in order to accomplish this goal or to solve this problem? What are the challenges that come up for them? Okay, write down those challenges. You're going to brainstorm all those challenges, and then you're going to identify the main 1, 2, or 3 challenges. And then finally, so that they can finally, what is their ultimate benefit? What is their ultimate desire? So what we call the benefit of the benefit. What is it that they ultimately want to accomplish? Right? So I help network marketers solve the problem of not having enough leads, not having enough people to talk to, so that they can build a successful business without rejection, spamming, and bugging strangers, so that they can finally travel around the world and live their dream life. Okay, there we go. There's a brand promise. Came up with that really quickly. So take a little bit more time with that, obviously. Okay, so that eventually, if you spend a little bit of time brainstorming this, now we can come up with a clear sentence. Okay, one sentence. And so your sentence would look something like this: I help my ideal client to solve this problem so that they can desired outcome that they want without all of these challenges. Okay, and I didn't take the time to create an example here for you guys, but I think you get the idea. Let's see if I can just come up with one off the top of my head here. I help online entrepreneurs to sell their first digital course so that they can create their dream business without going into debt and sacrificing their family life. Okay, there we go. So I just came up with a brand promise. And obviously, if I spent a little bit more time there, I could really refine that and I could come up with a very, very clear brand promise. Okay, so why is this important? Number one, it's important because we need to be able to clearly communicate what we offer and who we serve to our prospects. But here's another reason why it's important, because remember, we're talking about belief. What does this have to do with belief? What this has to do with belief is your belief in your brand promise, okay? Because I've seen this happen with far too many entrepreneurs. So here's the key. This is what I want you to take away here. Your brand promise must match your level of competency and confidence. Let me repeat that again. Your brand promise must match your level of competency and confidence. This is where a lot of people miss the boat. They create a magnificent brand promise, but they don't believe that they can actually fulfill that for their clients. And that's why you're not making sales. Okay? Because if you don't fully believe 110% that you can fulfill this promise, you're going to self-sabotage yourself and you're not going to be able to acquire customers and sales. So for instance, if you create a brand promise, let's say you're a brand new network marketer or online marketer, you're just getting started, and you create a brand promise and you say, I help successful entrepreneurs to build a 7-figure business so they can break free from the rat race without, going into debt. Okay. What have you just done? You've created a promise that sounds really great. It's a big promise, but you don't believe that you can do that. You don't have the competency or the confidence to help a successful entrepreneur build a 7-figure business because you haven't done it before, right? So what you're doing now is you're over-promising, and there's no way you're going to be able to deliver that. And subconsciously, in the back of your brain, you know that. And you're going out there into the marketplace, and you're being a fraud now at this point. And you know that subconsciously because you don't have the confidence that you can deliver on your promise. So if you're struggling to talk with people, if you're struggling to make sales, if you're struggling to transition to business, if you're struggling to close, I want you to have a sit with yourself and think about what is the promise that you're making people, and do you 110% believe that? And I remember having this out-of-body experience myself many, many years ago when I was still building a network marketing business. I remember this again like it was yesterday because it was a full-body experience. I was, promoting a company. I was doing one-on-one coffee shop meetings. And I was sitting down with these two ladies, and I was good at the presentation at that point. Again, I had my process down, right? I had the process down. I could do the presentation in 30 minutes. I could answer all their questions. No problem. The problem was my belief. I was telling them that I was going to help them build this 6-figure business. Had I done that? No, I hadn't done that yet. I hadn't had any success in that business. Okay. I remember like it was yesterday. I literally remember leaving my body and looking at myself from above my body, giving this presentation to these two ladies. And I remember myself saying to myself, you don't believe a word you're saying right now. And at that moment, I realized that I had this problem right here. I didn't believe what I was promising them. And there was no way I could create success from that point. Okay. So this is very, very critical, very important. So what can you do? Simply bring back your promise. Okay. Make your promise so it's something that you feel confident that you can deliver to somebody. It can be super simple. So every single one of you who are MLSP members right now, you might have no results, no success, no accomplishment of anything. You can still create a powerful, beautiful brand promise that you can 110% stick behind, right? I help struggling network marketers to generate leads so that they can build a successful business without rejection and struggling on social media, okay? Can you do that? Yes, you can. Why? Because you can point them to MLSP and you can lead them through the training that we have. So every single one of you can make that promise because you have the tools and the community and the resources to help them, to assist them with that goal, right? So just make sure that your brand promise matches your competency and your confidence. All right, let's talk about the third step. So the first step was positioning. Third step was your belief in yourself and belief in your promise. And finally, step 3, building audience. Now this goes right back to our BES, which is the foundation of everything we teach here at MLSP. These are the 3 actions to focus on every single day for success. Step number 1, build your audience. Step number 2, engage with your audience. Step number 3, sell to your audience. This right here is internet marketing in 3 steps. Okay, it doesn't matter what course you buy, what guru you learn from. In essence, this is what you're learning: how to build an audience, how to engage with that audience, and how to sell to your audience. Now, the first and most important step, if you want to establish authority, if you want to start growing your business, right? As we're talking about these 3 steps. So number 1, you've got to think about your positioning and work on your positioning. Number 2, you got to nail that belief in yourself and in your promise. And number 3, you got to get to work building your audience. There is nothing that can replace the importance of growing your audience. If your audience isn't growing every single day and every single week, you're doing the wrong things on your business. You're focused on the wrong things in your business. Let me repeat that because that is super important. If you want to stop wasting time and you want to focus on money-making activities in your business, okay? If your audience isn't growing consistently day after day, you're focusing on the wrong things in your business. Okay, so if you want to know what to focus on in your business, track your audience growth. And if it's not growing, refocus on audience growth. So I'm telling you right now, if you just focused on audience growth for the next 90 days, this is what I told Bob Clark, and this is the training that he delivered several weeks ago on a webinar here, because he actually did what I told him to do. And what did he do? He went and won an affiliate contest 90 days later. Why? Because he focused on building his audience. Okay, if you just focus on that one thing for 90 days, and you track your numbers, and you're committed and you're focused to growing that audience, these other things will come into play. So how do we build our audience? Number 1, you got to get clear on who's your ideal client, where they hang out. Then you can figure out where you're going to build your audience, on which platform, okay? And then the simple strategies on how you're going to build that audience. So this is that target persona case study. I do a more in-depth training on this in the level 1 workshop. I use the example of Lululemon Athletica. I use several examples actually. But the idea here is to identify your ideal client, the target persona, the ideal person that you want to help. Okay, and this is simply a choice that you make in your business. Who do you want to speak to? Because again, you can't speak to everyone. If you're trying to speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one. It's going to be really hard to find them. It's going to be really hard to craft a message to them, right? Because you can't speak to everybody. If you can identify who specifically you want to help, then you can craft incredibly powerful marketing messages to speak directly to them, to attract them into your business and into your following, into your audience, and then convert that into sales, right? So Lululemon knew that. When Lululemon started out, this is a popular Canadian company that was started here in Canada many years ago, like a decade ago now. They entered a very competitive space. They're athletic wear. So they had to compete with Adidas, with Nike, with Reebok, with all of these big global brands. You can't compete in the same arena as Nike. It's just not going to happen. So what did they do? They identified their ideal client. Their ideal client is Ocean. Ocean is a 32-year-old woman. She's engaged. She's got $100,000 a year income. She lives in the city. She owns the condo. She's traveled. She's fashionable. She spends 90 minutes to do workout. She's into yoga. She's into green smoothies. Okay, that's Ocean. Now, all of the marketing that they do, all of the materials that they use, the way they design their store, the music they play in their store, they do everything for Ocean. Not for everybody, not to serve the entire athletic space, but only to serve Ocean. And that is exactly how they were able to break out into the market. Because Ocean, when she sees those marketing messages, she's like, oh my God, that is speaking to me. I want some of that. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Once you are able to break into one market, now you can expand your verticals, your marketing verticals. And so what they did is then they expanded into a men's line, right? And so they created Duke was their target persona. This is real. You can look this up. I'm not making this up. Duke is a 34-year-old man, $100,000 a year income, athletic opportunist. He surfs in the summer, snowboards in the winter. He's willing to pay for quality. Okay, right there he is. There's Duke. That's who they focused on. That was their ideal client. Now here's the magical thing about identifying your ideal client, because some of you will say, well, I buy Lululemon and I'm not a 32-year-old urbanite, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. Yeah, that's true. But you were attracted by the marketing message. You were attracted by the values that the company stood for. So what's magical here is, though, even though their ideal client was Ocean, guess what? They attracted women that were younger than Ocean. Why? Because they attracted women that wanted to be like Ocean, right? That's what they aspired to. So the marketing message spoke to them because it spoke to their aspirations. And they also attracted customers that were older than Ocean, women in their 40s and even 50s. Why? Because those women longed for the days when they were like Ocean, before the family and the kids and the running around to soccer practice. Okay? So again, it spoke to their values. It spoke to their mindset. It spoke to what was important to them. But they were crystal clear in their marketing. And this is where it's so powerful to identify your ideal client. Okay? Oh, there it is. If you're 20 years old or you're graduating from university, you can't wait to be that woman. If you're 42 years old with a couple of children, you wish you had that time back. And apparently that was a quote that I got from Chip Wilson, one of the founders of Lululemon. So you can see how powerful that is. Okay, if you look at Elon Musk and his Tesla company, he used the exact same model when you think about the first vehicle that they launched to break into the market. Okay, so identify your ideal client, then you'll be able to easily figure out where they hang out, and then figure out where to build your audience. So if your ideal client hangs out on TikTok, maybe you need to be building your audience on TikTok. And if your ideal client hangs out on Facebook, maybe you should stick to Facebook. Okay. And then you simply need to figure out, how am I going to build that audience? And we talk about all of that inside of MLSP in our phase 1 training, at the level 1 workshop, this summit that's going to be going on, that we're going to talk a little bit more here at the end as well. This summit is going to show you different ways to build your audience and to engage with that audience. The summit is going to be focused on all of that. But the key here is now to focus. Okay, focus on your ideal client and focus on building that audience. Focus on 1 or 2 platforms. Don't spread yourself thin on 5 different social media platforms. That's the worst thing you could do. Focus on 1 or 2 platforms and follow 1 course until successful. Right? So what you'll want to do is focus on building your communication channels. This is where you're building your audience. Right? Your email database, that's an audience. Your Facebook profile, your friends on Facebook and followers on Facebook, that's an audience. That's a communication channel. Maybe you're going to build a group on Facebook. That's a communication channel. Okay. You could build on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok. You could build on YouTube or Vimeo. You could build a podcast. Okay? These are all different ways, different communication channels that you can build. But remember, you need to focus. So all you need to do is cut this down and identify, where am I going to focus? Right. So here's one example. This is what I would recommend. This is one recommendation, right? If you're into TikTok, you would choose TikTok. If you're into Pinterest, you choose Pinterest. You choose what's going to work for your audience and for your business and personality. Right. But now, instead of building all these 10 different channels, Here I am, I'm going to build 3 channels and that's it. Now I can focus. And finally, like I've already said, you've got to track your audience growth. Your numbers aren't going to lie. You're going to lie to yourself. You're going to sit at your computer for hours, right? And you're going to be like, oh my God, that was a hard day. I worked for hours. Oh my God, I was on that computer for 8 hours, right? Your wife or your husband is going to be like, hey, what'd you do for your business today? And you're like, oh my God, I worked so hard. I was on the computer for 6 hours. And then you're going to come to me and you're going to say, Norbert, my business isn't growing. I don't understand. I'm working so hard. I'm going to ask you one simple question. Show me your numbers. Show me your numbers. Show me your audience growth. Because if you can't show me your audience growth, that's where you're lacking. Your numbers will never lie. You're going to lie to yourself all day long, but your numbers will never lie. And that's why tracking your audience growth, tracking your lead generation, tracking your sales, tracking what we call your KPIs, your key performance indicators, is so, so very important if you want results in your business. Okay, because if you want results in your business, you've got to be focused on money-making activities. Building your audience is the most important one of those, especially at the beginning when you're getting started. So if you're not tracking your numbers, you don't know what's going on in your business. If you are tracking your numbers, then you can have a reality check. Oh, wow, my Facebook only grew by 5 new friends this week. Well, you know what you need to work on, don't you? Okay, stop wasting time on webinars. Webinars are good, guys, but seriously, if you're spending, 6 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours a week on webinars and reading and studying or answering emails or building a funnel or blogging, but your audience isn't growing, you're spending time on the wrong things. The only thing that matters is audience growth. As your audience grows, your engagement will grow and everything else will grow as a result of that. Your authority will grow. And that's why we need to focus here, right? Obviously, we're going to always leverage existing audiences. So when we're talking about building audience, we're talking about generating traffic. It's really another term for that. Okay. So when we start out, we always have to leverage existing audiences. Okay. Because we don't have an audience of our own, or our audience is very small. So we've got to tap into audiences that already exist. You've got to remember that on the internet, you don't create traffic. You're simply diverting that traffic. That traffic already exists. The audience already exists out there. It's just like a superhighway, right? All you need to do is divert the traffic from the highway to your restaurant at exit 78. And you do that through a banner. That's your marketing. That's your marketing messages, right? So all we're doing is finding where is my audience hanging out. And then I'm going to put marketing messages in front of that audience to divert them to my website, to my sales funnel, to my lead capture page, to my instant messenger, to my TikTok, to my Facebook profile, whatever it is. So you're not creating traffic, right? We're just diverting that traffic. Really, really important to understand. And so think about your communication channels and decide for yourself which communication channels you're going to focus on. Obviously, our recommendations, as from our experience, and this is what we focus on in the first phases of our training here at MLSP and at Level 1 Workshop, we focus heavily on Facebook because everyone's on there. Pretty much any one of your existing ideal clients is most likely on Facebook. They're easy to find with groups and business pages, and they're easy to communicate to through instant messaging tools and all the content that you can post on Facebook. So that's where we start because that's where most people will have the most results in the quickest amount of time. And it's free to use and it's free to connect with people, free to generate leads. So that's going to be, for the majority of you, is going to be your first platform, is Facebook. And then beyond that, you want to start building your email list. Okay? Because your email list, no one can take that away from you. That's a really, really important asset. You keep that in mind and you focus on those 2 things, you're going to be set. All right. So with all of that being said, let's talk a little bit. I'm going to change the conversation back to the summit, because how does the summit help out? Okay, what you guys have learned here today is 3 very simple things that each one of you can do to increase your authority, to improve your marketing, so that you can generate more leads and make more sales in your business, whatever business that you're growing. Number 1, think about your positioning and how you can move up that positioning pyramid from being a generalist to being a specialist and eventually an expert. Maybe for some of you, even a celebrity. Second, your belief in yourself. And then very importantly, your belief in your brand promise, right? Does your brand promise match your competency and your confidence? Really, really important. And then finally, the third step is building your audience. And that's what the Roadmap to Rockstar Virtual Summit is all about. That's why you want to participate in this and you want to participate in this training. And that's why, more importantly, you want to go out there into the market and you want to help others do this as well. Any network marketer, any affiliate marketer, any online business entrepreneur, coach, or expert or digital course creator, they're going to benefit from this summit, because if you look at the topics that we're going to be covering here, this is exactly what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about attraction marketing. We're going to be talking about your social media profiles. We're going to be talking about Facebook stories, growing your audience on social media, on Facebook, networking in Facebook groups, the power of running your own Facebook group and building that communication channel, types of content that you should be posting for maximum engagement, Facebook Reels, why you should be looking at using Facebook Reels, transitioning to the close, using private messaging conversations to take prospects, turn them into customers and clients, using Facebook challenges, lead gen funnels, email marketing, all the way up to paid ads. Now, again, understand which phase you're in. Okay, if you're a beginner, you probably don't need to get into some of these phase 2 trainings because you might start feeling a little bit overwhelmed. We don't want you dealing with overwhelm, right? So if you're a beginner, if you're just getting started here, I would recommend you stick to the phase 1 sessions. If you're more intermediate, you want to get into email list building and stuff like that, and possibly Facebook challenges, then definitely check out the phase 2 sessions as well. All right, Brian, are you still with me? I was going to open it up a little bit for Q&A on the training and on the summit as well. If you're with me still, Brian, just give me a holler. Just let me know that you're with me. But guys, if you have any questions, I'm going to open it up for about 15 minutes. If you have any questions for me, post them in the Q&A, not in the chat, because I'm going to lose the chat. The chat's going way too fast, so I'm going to lose that. Throw the questions into the Q&A. All right, Brian, you're with me. Did I miss anything on the summit? Anything else you wanted to say?
Love it. Awesome training. Guys, excellent chat for Norb. Influence, leadership, good stuff, right? Some of those stories, metaphors. And I like the way that we talk about brands, not like our little space of network marketing. We're talking about, like, I was going to say $1 billion brands, probably not Lululemon yet. I mean, sometimes we bring in Tesla, Nike. It's all this. It doesn't matter. It does not matter, guys, right? And what we teach is an extension of what they do too. So awesome stuff, Norb. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, this summit's going to be wild. Do you want to feel free to kind of, I don't want to interrupt, guys, or Norb. And if you wanted to specifically show something, I'm dropping some links. Again, members, this is a gift from us to you. You don't have to pay for it. It's saying, hey, here we are, 2022. Let's freaking make it better than last year. Damn it, right? We've all been through some stuff. And this is our way of, hey, you're a member, let's pour on the value. We start on Wednesday, day 1.
I got a few good questions here that I'm going to answer. Thanks, guys, for posting some good questions here. So let me just go through these really quickly. Hey, guys, if I pay the $1, do I qualify to become an affiliate that can participate in this affiliate competition? Yes, you do. You do indeed. You have to become a member. Sorry, Brian, do they become a member with $1? Yeah, they do. Yeah, 30 days.
Oh, yeah, 30 days.
Yeah, totally. So you get 30 days access to MLSP. Our regular membership is $49 a month. You're going to get access to 30 days of that for $1. And you can just sign up as an affiliate. It is an extra step. Once you're in the back office, you have to go over to affiliate and you just have to sign a little document there and set up your affiliate account, but there's no extra cost to that. Okay. Once you're a member, you can be an affiliate. And yes, Dion, you can start promoting right away. You'll get your link and start sharing it. Absolutely. That would be awesome. You'll get your membership, get a few people signed up. You'll have your membership paid for. That's the whole idea. So you should never have to pay for an MLSP membership because you can just refer a few people in and you'll have your membership paid for. Mm-hmm. Do we have the 4 steps slide and the one after that somewhere? Somewhere, maybe. I have no idea. The 4 steps, did you mean the 4 phases? I can show those 4 phases again. And all that is really just the phases of growth that we focus on here at MLSP, right? So the first phase, we start everybody out with social media networking and prospecting. And the reason for that is because it's easy. It's the easiest thing we can teach you. It's networking. So a lot of people are already kind of used to that. It's social media, which everybody's already on social media. And it's free. It costs nothing. So there's no risk. You can build your business without any risk, without really any investment. You can literally generate clients, leads, and customers for free without investing any money. So it's very, very low risk. So that's why we start people there. And as you're performing the activities that we teach you to do on social media, you're actually learning fundamentals of marketing, right? So when we teach you how to build engaging posts, you're learning copywriting, you're learning influence, right? When we teach you communication in private messenger, again, you're learning communication skills, right? So it's a beautiful way to develop those marketing skill sets as you then move into phase 2, when we start really building up your personal brand and you start creating your own content, you start doing your own Facebook Lives, you start posting your own videos, you start creating your own content for social media. And then phase 3, this is where we get into authority branding, really moving up that positioning pyramid into expert, eventually celebrity, and perhaps creating your own offer. So maybe you started out in network marketing or you started out as an affiliate marketer. Eventually, like many of our leaders, you decide, well, heck, I can create my own digital courses. I can create my own membership. I can create my own coaching programs. And so you move into phase 3. And then finally, phase 4 is where we get into paid advertising and scaling. Funny enough, some people do this completely backwards, and they don't have a lot of results that way. So we like to take the slower approach. We like you to develop your skill sets before you jump into things like paid advertising and start risking, big money on scaling your business. So that's the 4 phases of growth. Okay, let me get back to the questions here. Is the brand promise our one-liner? Yes, very similar to your one-liner. Very similar to your one-liner, because your one-liner is essentially saying the same thing, okay? The main thing there that I wanted you guys to take away is just to make sure that what you're promising to people, you feel 110% confident in what you're promising and in what you can deliver, okay? And if you don't, just pull that back just a little bit. So you can go into the marketplace with 100% confidence. Will the summit sessions be recorded? Brian, can you answer that while I take a drink?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Heather. Yes, of course. Everything we do always is recorded. All of our members will have ongoing access to the replays. Even if you're guests, people, obviously, guys, it's a big ask. There's 8 days in a row, including bonuses, and 2-a-days where, we're going hard for 8 days. You and your prospects, if you're promoting, rest assured, let them know they'll have access to all the replays, and they can consume them, come back at a later date if they want to stick to the phase 1. There's 2 tracks there. Phase 1 is more fundamental beginner. Phase 2, we kind of start opening up higher level conversations, multiple, different ideas and concepts with branding and influence. And, that bonus there with Sean is, big chunks of cash with coaching. You'll see Norb and me there, multiple revenue streams, not beginner stuff. So if you're having to choose, and you're on the beginner side, I would tell them to go to phase 1. And if you're, you got your chops, you got your basics, your fundamentals down, try and, stick to phase 2. But either way, everything's recorded and you'll have access to the replays. Yes.
Awesome. David, thank you for the applause there. Appreciate that. Kanisha.
It was good training, man. It was good stuff. David,
thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys got something out of that. Kanisha, you are brand new. That is awesome. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. She has a business page, but how do I begin to drive traffic there? Mm-hmm. Well, Kanisha.
How much time you got?
How much time you got? Yeah. So the first thing we're probably going to tell you to do, Kanisha, now depending on your business, I don't know your business, but for pretty much every business, affiliate marketers, network marketers, coaches, and experts, we would tell you to actually not start with a business page and just start on your personal profile. And you're just going to have to trust my 14 years of online marketing experience with that for right now, until you go through some of this training and you'll learn exactly why. Okay. But there are many reasons for that. You're going to actually have a lot better results and a lot better success, more engagement in your personal profile than on your business page. The business page in the Facebook place is really a pay to play. If you're not spending money on advertising and you're not growing that business page really large, it can be very challenging to actually get customers from your business page. You're going to have a lot better results following our strategies with a personal profile. Okay. Now, what I'd recommend you do is become an MLSP member. If you haven't signed up here, sign up for this roadmap to Rockstar for $1. You're going to get access to this summit once it starts on February 9th, but you're also going to get access to the entire MLSP membership right here. Okay, this is what you see inside the MLSP membership. And you're going to hop into Start Here, and you're going to go through our 10-step getting started process, right? And once you've done that, under training, you're going to find our training library, and you're just going to stick to the phase 1 training courses. Phase 1 training courses, and you'll learn everything you need to learn about how to generate leads and sales on Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there.
So that what Norb just described, guys, for all of our new guests on the line, you go over to roadmaptorockstar.com, pay the $1 and get in. You don't need to wait until February 9th. Go to that Start Here tab that Norb showed you, and we've got videos and links, and we'll take care of you. We'll point you right there where Norb's hovering. That's behind the curtain. There's no guesswork. Pay, and we're taking all the risk on this, guys. We have to show up. It's $1, and if you don't dig it, we'll give you the $1 back. Just let us know before the 30 days is up. And you can see this entire back office, the entire system. If you've ever seen MLSP or wondered, you've heard leaders talk about it, you know that there's a missing, this is kind of a secret ingredient to many of their, playbooks and formulas. You can come in for $1. It's 100% risk-free. And you'll see this page, go to the Start Here, and we'll give you a heads up on what to do and how to, get registered for the summit, and then get ready for Wednesday, and then the whole 8 days forthcoming, and how to best utilize the 30-day free trial that you get that comes with the $1 membership.
Now, what I'd really recommend you do, because you'll get access to it for 30 days, is access some of our free coaching. You'll see this calendar up here on the homepage inside your membership office. We've got daily live coaching, which means you get to ask your questions. We get to answer them live, Monday through Friday. Okay, there's a new member orientation every Monday. We got a marketing mastery and funnel demo on Tuesday. Wednesdays are these webinars. Tomorrow, Thursday, we do a social media networking and prospecting. That's a great beginners level training that we do there. And then on Friday, we do our happy hour, interactive Q&As and live coaching. Okay, so you've got all of that access to. Okay, when does level 1 workshop start and how much? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you first, Donna, just because I don't want to overwhelm you. Start with the summit. Donna, that's where you should start right now, because it's happening February 9th. So get into the membership, access all the membership training, start with the summit. Okay, if you're brand new, just stick to the phase 1 trainings. Don't worry about the phase 2. Don't get overwhelmed. And then when you're ready, you can come check out mlsp.com/live. I think it's live, isn't it? I hope it is. And that'll take you to our workshop. Our next workshop is happening March 25th to 27th. Okay, March 25th to 27th. And so if you want to get a ticket, you can buy a ticket right now, mlsp.com/live. But as long as you get your ticket before March 25th, you'll be able to attend, unless we sell out, because this one could get a little packed, because this is the first one that we're having in 2022. So we'll probably have a really good showing. We've got about 150 person limit, I think. So right now there's still availability, but that's where you can get tickets, mlsp.com/live. And this, honestly, this workshop is the best training we have ever created in 14 years. It gets the most amount of people, the best results. If you can attend this 3-day workshop, 2.5-day workshop, this is what you want to do. Great question by Amit. How to collaborate and build community of like-minded people on social media. Well, that's what we teach inside of MLSP. That's our entire focus, is teaching you how to build an audience and build a community. So number one, you got to get into the community here. start accessing our training, accessing our live coaching, come to the level 1 workshop, all that kind of stuff. But I like what you said, how to collaborate. Well, find people to collaborate with. And perhaps this community can be a great place for you to find other people to collaborate in building a community with instead of doing it on your own. I'm a big fan of partnering up. Look at the partners that we have here at MLSP. We've accomplished some incredible things because we work together as partners instead of trying to do it all by ourselves. So if you can find a running buddy, if you can find a partner, if you can find a collab, someone to collaborate with to build community, highly recommend it. You guys can achieve so much more together. Michelle, can you leak any details of February 23rd? I'm kind of stoked. Brian, that's your fault.
Michelle, we're going to ask you to hold on to that excitement and just trust us. It's going to be some crazy stuff. 23rd, y'all, mark your count like a for real affiliates. This will be the biggest month we've had probably since inception as far as what we're able to do with affiliates, for affiliates, cash flow to affiliates. And what I think just as important is the tools and the software, what you're going to have access to. We've never done anything what we're going to show you, what's going to be available now, February 23rd. I know that doesn't answer your question. It probably adds more fuel to it. That's good. That's good. Hold on to it and come to the 23rd and save the date. And when that webinar is up, and you'll get updates and links and swipe, and that we'll let all of our members and affiliates, and our affiliates, not members, our affiliates in the loop of what's going down. So patience.
I would just tell you, just focus on promoting the summit until the 23rd. Okay. I promise you that's the best thing that you can do is just promote this summit, get as many people into this $1 offer as you possibly can between now and the 23rd. Just do that. Brian, you answered the webinar for the question there.
Can we share the replay? Stephanie, you can share this replay. It was great training. And guys, the huge pitch for the $1, right? This was a great training. If you want to share it, you can do so. You can go to our business page and just click on the stream when it's done, and it'll pop up a link and you can share it that way. Just make sure if you give it to somebody, just tell them to get with you before they join, or give them your link to your roadmap or to your summit to make sure you get credit for it.
Yeah. And then finally, a big happy birthday to John Andrew Peterson. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, John. And he said, that's why I'm starting today. Truly grateful to attend tonight. After going through everything, should I restart to stay refreshed? Restarting is always great. Repetition is the mother of all learning. So it never hurts to go back through content. We have people come back to level 1 workshop 2 or 3 times. It's the same training, but they come back because they're a different person the second time that they attend it. And so they actually consume more information, better information. They're looking at the information from a different perspective. They've changed. They've gotten better. And so now they're able to apply the information in a completely different way. So yeah, absolutely. Restart. Do it again. Awesome. Brian, that's all the questions. That was 90 minutes.
Yeah, man. Great stuff again. Appreciate it. Always love having the man out here. Roadmap to Rockstar, guys. This starts Wednesday. We'll get the link out tomorrow, or probably tomorrow, for you to register. The day 1 is completely free. So we're actually going to let everybody come see Norb, Jim, and myself dive into day number 1. So once you do that, you guys, if you're a member, don't worry, you'll get the affiliate, you'll get the links and the details to register for the actual summit. But day 1 is this Wednesday. I totally can appreciate you've got some training forthcoming. Who was that? Whitfire. Totally cool. You got training on in between some of the summit. You're going to get access to the replays. Okay. So just all you need to know right now is if you're a guest, take a dive. Just come in. I promise you we'll be gentle. And again, if you don't like anything back there, we don't, you can let us know. We'll give you the $1 back. There's no hoops to jump through. You can press a button. You don't have to talk to anybody. We're marketers first, and we want to win. We want you to win. We want to make sure that you get what you need to grow your business. We've been here a long time. This $1 is crazy low entry fee, 0 risk whatsoever to come in and get a taste and see if we can help, and maybe see if you can build that dream business they promised you when you first got started. Day 1 of this summit starts on Wednesday, and we'll be emailing y'all to register. Members, again, there's no need to buy. This is a gift from us to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for working on you and your dream. and we'll give you guys details on what to do to attend day 2 through 7, or excuse me, 2 through 8.
But yeah, what a great training.
I think that's it, affiliates. We're going to be doing some huddles and coaching with you guys.
So that was a great training by Norbert and Brian. Have a lot of good things coming up. You heard you have the Roadmap to Rockstar Summit coming up. So definitely get with me to get some more information on that. And, they covered about authority and, just positioning yourself and creating that instant authority in your niche. So there is a course for that. So I can get you that. But, connect with me. If you have any questions, I am here to answer them for you. Like you said, we're building, we have the community, we have the resources and all the information that you need to get started to build your business. All right. So Anthony, 2 claps up and a Ric Flair. Woo! So you have a great night, guys. Peace.